Okay, it's third weekend in March. Raspberries probably look a lot different because since I last took the weekly update, I did a lot of work on them. Went through. Actually, I still have it here. See, so those are the old canes that are completely dead. These are mostly the new canes that were just too abundant, had to thin them. So what you see is completely different than what you saw a couple weeks ago. Plus I put up this nice little plastic border thing so that we can pile in the compost there. I also put a nice little, very functional but not aesthetically pleasing, some boards with some stakes on them to keep to protect that in the back so that it doesn't spill over there. This will allow us to pile up a lot of compost in right on the raspberries, and then just regular mulch in the back there. Keep the weeds down in the back, and keep the weeds down, and also feed the raspberries. So a lot of things are going on. So besides the fact that I thinned them all, they just like the fruit trees are totally responding to the weather. So you can see all the buds there coming out, and little green guys right there. Those are what's going to be this year's crop. So once again, raspberries are 2-year here in Utah, or these particular varieties are anyway. So these grow up last year. So these are our 2016 canes, and those are the 27. Those obviously down there will be the 2017 canes. So these grew up last year, grew green, and that was it. And then the second year, they stay, and they have the little buds coming out. And so there'll be a little arm come out there, and they'll have put berries out. So everything you see will produce berries. All the stuff that you can currently see, the little green guys that are coming up, will produce berries next year. So we just need to, I think I'm going to let the new guys grow up a bit before I put some compost down, just so they don't have to push through so much compost at this time, because I was going to put compost down this weekend, but so many of them have just burst through and already put up their leaves. I don't want them to get smothered and have to struggle even more. So anyway, that is how they are, nice and thinned out. And then there's all of our shoots. So, and we had, once again to review probably multiple times, but we had our issue last year with the raspberry horntail pest, and so I had to cut back the main stalk. And when I did, so here's a perfect example. The plant was growing up, but it had the tip coming out. I had to cut it back there to get the worm out and make sure it killed it. And when I did, it caused them to fork. So normally raspberries grow up in one long cane, like this guy here, just one cane that comes out. That's it. But let that grow all the way, because there was no horntail in it. But these other ones, when I cut it last year, it then responded by basically forking. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 forks on that thing instead of being a straight cane. This is an interesting thing. It makes it a little bit more difficult to figure out what you're going to do, because it's probably going to be a lot more crowded in there with all the directions going crazy. It's pretty straightforward when it's just that. It was really easy to do the spacing when I was pruning, but with all these forks going everywhere, it might be a little messy in there, but it's going to give us a lot more production, because we cut off the canes, even if they're long cane, to about here, so they don't drip over or hang over too far. And then we pick the fruit from this part here. But in one that has more forks on it, it will have more places for buds, because there's buds on all those little arms. Instead of just the main one, so it should yield a lot more fruit. So we'll just see how that goes. But may even wish to try and actually stimulate that, cause that to happen. For next year, we'll just see how it goes. Like I said, it was a lot more difficult to do all the thinning and pruning because it was more complicated to figure it out. But anyway, those are our older canes, and then these are the newer part of the bed. And you can see once again, there's our little 2017 canes popping up there. and then plenty of the old ones. Once again, I took out lots of them, and there's still lots more, but you can see them popping up down there and all over the place. So these ones will produce fruit, and this year then they won't do anything anymore, and then the little guys will come up. So yes, so the other things I need to do is put some more compost in the back there, keep the weeds down, or compost in the front, mulch in the back, and that's it. So there's our raspberries for this year, for this week I should say, and then we'll be seeing a lot of new growth and changes fairly soon with all these buds, and it'll start to look more like something that's going to produce fruit than just canes. So anyway, that's raspberries for this week. Thanks for watching.